right then, massive welcome to the first module, first lesson. I'm really excited to have you here. And in this module, I'm just going off the piece of paper here in front of me. We're actually gonna get started. What exactly will you learn? What we're gonna learn is for you how to build and deliver websites, right? The tools we'll be using are primarily domain, hosting, and WordPress. And the demo that I want to show you for the kind of video that we're gonna build is, let's have a look at my recent client's website. It's in Lithuanian. If we have any Italian speakers, there's an Italian translation. So here we have the website. The domain doutunite.live. Let's stay in Italian. So we have the hero section. Let's do it in Lithuanian. Hero section, the menu, services, how to start, some fun elements with the blogs, action plan, a custom calculator. This is useful because she's in the finance niche, and a lot of stuff needs to be calculated so that you can have the right perspective. Frequently asked questions, and a few blogs. She's also launched a new book, so we have a section as a lead magnet, and then the footer, right? We have a blog with a few articles and a contact page. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. The goal is to introduce the services. So whatever you're doing, if you're a business owner, a small business owner, or if you're just wanting to learn how to make websites, this is a perfect example of a financial consultant making a website for her services, right? This applies to a lot of different niches: real estate brokers, financial consultants, in the medical field, like dentists and stuff like that. This is perfect for these kinds of roles, right? So that's the demo, right? So you'll actually go through and learn what the domain and how to get the domain, right? Then we're gonna go through what hosting is, and this website is being hosted on a server linked to this domain. And to make the website, we'll use WordPress. It's the most common used website building tool, so we'll use that. And I think that's about it. For the first module, getting started, this is what we're gonna go through. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you on the next one. So for this next part, module 2, we're actually gonna buy a domain and a hosting plan, right? So I'll show you step by step how everything looks like, and we'll use one of my accounts. Let's disconnect from this one, connect to this one. So as we begin, we go into domains and we add a new domain, right? So let's buy a new one. To buy a new domain, we're gonna start looking for something new, right? So you just have to put in the name in here and you're gonna get your domain. So how do we go about? Let's say I'm buying a new domain for my personal brand, Arthur Gray. Let's have a look. So we have a few options. arthurgrid.lt for Lithuania is available. Few more options down here as well. .net, .org, online. So all you do is click buy and just click buy. Once that's done, you got your domain. Next thing on the list is getting hosting, right? So we get hosting by pressing here, get a new hosting, and you're gonna have a few plans for the web hosting: single web hosting, premium hosting, and business web hosting. Each of them costing about, this one starting at 150 a month, this one's €3 a month, this is €4 a month. So, and each of them have their own differences. Most of them are listed down here, so if you really want to have a read, you can. Just keep in mind, if you're making a one website for one client, this is the best option. It's a single website option. If you're planning to build quite a few, and then this is a slightly bigger plan, and this one is the biggest of them all. But I would recommend just going with a single domain and a single hosting plan. And again, we press buy, and you can go for a long time, which is in this case is 4 years. You get a discount for 4 years. Then a single month plan and a yearly plan. If I was in your shoes, and what I always do is I get the 4-year plan, right? So if I'm expecting my business to be around for the next 5 years, there is no reason for you to not be buying this 4-year plan, because you get the highest discount possible, and it means you're gonna have a website available for 4 years in advance. Like, it's a long time. You don't have to pay for hosting, or the hosting costs you cents. If you go for a yearly plan, most likely you're not so sure about your business, and you're gonna spend 29 bucks or euros for a year, but the next year it's gonna extend on €7 a month, which adds up to about 70 bucks a year. So or more, like 80 bucks a year. So if you're only getting 1-year plan, then every year after this year, you're gonna be paying about $80 or euros for hosting every single year. So, and if you just get 4 years in advance, you pay 80 once, 80, and that's it. You have it for 4 years. So I always recommend going for the biggest one, because the discount here is hilarious. The reason they make money on this, and the reason they offer this, is because a lot of people do not commit to their business for a long time, and usually make a website and they scrape it or leave their business after 16 months. So, or 6 to 18 months. So that's why they make money on this. My rationale for this: how long are you planning to stay in your business? If you're unsure, if you're like starting something new and thinking about the website, maybe you don't even need a website. You have to be pretty sure that you're going to be doing this for a long time. That way you can get the best discount and make a commitment for a long time, not only on the website part, but also within yourself when it comes to the web, to your business. So you choose whichever duration makes sense to you, and you press purchase, make the payment, right? I'm not gonna be doing it, but that's how you do it. After that's done, you end up having a domain like these ones here, right? Domains and hosting plans. So once we have that, you're gonna have the option to connect. So let's see, like we have single web hosting here without a domain. We connect, and you get this choice. How do you want to connect? Hosting your horizons, which is like a artificial intelligence solution for making a website, which I do not recommend. Avoid this like the plague. You're gonna end up having a really bad website, and you're gonna have additional headache to get away from it because it's horrible. Then you have WordPress, which is the best option to go for because it gives you plenty of free themes and plenty of chances to make your websites look pretty nice, pristine, and good looking. Then this is another website maker within Hostinger using AI. Also same like this Horizons. Stay away from it. It's gonna make your website look ugly, and you're gonna struggle making changes on it. This is a PHP HTML website, so if you know how to program and write code yourself, you can use this option and just put your website on there. So we're gonna go with WordPress. Then of course it's gonna ask us to log in, and then you can choose whichever theme you want for this WordPress. It's up to you if you see anything you like here. Remember, a lot of website development is looking at the right theme and picking a theme. Most of the work is done by the theme. Even, let me give you an example. I have some really cool websites here, like this one, right? There's music playing in the background. It's like 3D. It looks visually appealing. It's clean, it's smooth, it's beautiful, right? This is WordPress. It's a WordPress. Let's get out of that. There's music playing. Let's see another one. Holy. Look at this one. This one's not WordPress. This is probably one of the most expensive websites you could probably have. I think it was like 100K. Let's see another one. This one, also clean, beautiful, interactive, sleek, real estate business with elements you can pick through. Again, it's pretty nice, and it has been done with WordPress. So just to drive my points again, most of the hard work is being done by the theme itself. If you see a beautiful website, 100% is being done with WordPress and with a theme that's doing all the heavy lifting. So the real challenge becomes finding either the right theme that you really like, or finding something as close as possible to it. So it's up to you to choose whichever you want here. We're gonna go with let's see what I like. Okay, so another financial or something, chartered accountant. Okay, so select chartered accountant. This is not going to be final, but it's just the sort of thing that you can expect, right? So we'll grab this one, continue, select all these, next, and then we're going to connect a domain, so the one you already purchased. Next, select the country, and then you press install WordPress, and that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna do it, but that's what you have to do. Then once that is done, you end up going, let me connect to another account. Once that is done, you end up having an account which looks something like this. If you go to websites, you're gonna have a WordPress hosting for your website. You're gonna have this button, WordPress admin. You go on it, and for your website you're gonna have something that looks like this. Yep, something that looks like this. This is WordPress. And in the next module, we're actually gonna go through WordPress and how it works. So now just let me recap. You saw the process of buying a domain. You saw the process of buying a hosting plan. You saw the process of installing a WordPress for, on your hosting and your domain. So now you got a WordPress done, which is only the beginning, but it's already a great step forward. So, all right, so that's it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, welcome to module 3. This time we're gonna go through WordPress and a small tour for the WordPress so you can get an understanding what goes where. And let's go through the pages section, right? So you have the dashboard, which is kind of useful a little bit. We have posts on the control bar. So this is where you put your blogs, media, so all the assets that you use in the website, images, videos, you put in here. Then we have the pages section, which is basically all the pages within the website, right? So we have home, privacy policy, contact section, the blog, services, testimonials, whatever you end up having, but these are the pages that are on the website. Then we have comments. So this is, of course, makes no sense. Move the trash. It's just placeholders. But usually if you have blogs and people comment in your blog, the comments gonna appear here. Then we have the appearance. I'm gonna skip these 3 because they're plugins. This is not, but these are plugins. We have the appearance, which is again an option to choose from plenty of themes for your website. And just a little bit more about the themes here. Then we have the plugins, which are like the extensions, like tools that you can add to your website and that actually have quite a lot of usefulness. So for example, if you want to translate your website into a few languages, you're gonna get a plugin, for example, Translate Press. So it's like a slide tool that allows you to translate your website into a few languages. Then if you want them to load faster, you can get a Lightspeed cache, so it preloads everything. And if you want to have a form in your website, you use Sure Forms. Just adds that functionality of adding forms in your website. So this is like a core. So if you have multiple people managing the account, you can have users as well. Tools, if you want to export your website, then a bunch of settings when it comes to general, the site title, taglines, everything is here. Writing, right? Reading, discussion, some options. And if you want to translate, so it's kind of everything is here, right? Once you press, for example, on the page, you'll see that it just pops up with this one, right? Just home. We have this plugin called Elementor, which we'll use to edit your websites, but this is how it's supposed to look like. Some options here for the pages as well. So if there's a comment section, what template it's using, the author, the link, and the status, right? Sometimes it might not be published, so it's not going to show up in your website, and the option to delete. So this is your WordPress. Pretty simple. This dashboard just has everything included, all news, like a bunch of news for your plugins, news for the comments, some WordPress events. Not really something that's very useful for you right now, unless you got a really big website, but the rest we went through. Posts, which is like blogs, pages, the actual pages on the website. And I can show you the website again. So these are the pages, right? And if we go to the blog, these are the blogs, right? Each of them has a bunch of text. Go back to the original, and yeah. So that's what you have for WordPress. Really short one. If you have technical questions about WordPress, do let me know. I'll help you out to figure those out. And that's it. That's it for WordPress. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to module 4, which is themes, right? So in this one, we're just gonna quickly go through what is a theme, how to pick a free theme, how to install it. So this is the first step. Once you got the WordPress in, we use 2 theme builders, which are extremely useful. One is called Elementor, and the other one is Royal Add-ons for Elementor. To find them, you have to go into Plugin, Add Plugin. Then in here, in the search, you put in Elementor, and you get some options. Elementor website builder, more than just a page builder. You get this one. I'm gonna update it, but for you it's gonna be install now. And then the second one that you get, as you can see, there's loads of stuff for Elementor, but what we gonna get is this Royal Add-ons, right? So again, install now on your end. And once that is done, you go back to installed plugins, and you will see the option to activate Elementor and Royal Elementor add-ons. All you have to do is press activate on the Elementor and activate on Royal Elementor add-ons. Once you do that, you get an option to select again whichever theme you want from within the Royal Elementor add-ons. And Royal add-ons have loads of templates. And you can see some of them are really good looking, really cool, much better than the default ones. Yeah, so go through, whichever one you like the most, or whichever one fits your business the most. You can see some of them are premium, but just focus on the free ones and make sure, and if actually, for example, you into, selling auto parts, right? And you need a store, it's okay to invest a little bit to get the premium, so you could get the theme that's actually gonna be, that your business is gonna basically rely on, right? So if you find something you really like, it's okay to invest in it, because at the end of the day, your website is there to make you money. And if you invest in an asset that is good, it's gonna generate you returns that pay for it 1,000-fold, 100-fold on a good case. So you can see the amount of crazy good websites that are available for free. Some of them are premium, but you can use the free ones to start. These are all free ones, all here, free ones for Shopify, for designers, for programmers. There's loads, or you can just select free and you get all the free ones up here. Really great choices. So whichever one you pick, that's gonna be your new website for the time being. And that's it, right? For this one, that was it. Then you end up having a website that looks something like this. Once you go on it, the way to edit your website will be by pressing edit with Elementor. So we're still going to be using Elementor to edit that page, right? Once we get in, you'll see your preloaded template or a theme, right? So that's it. That's it for module 4. So by now you already have a domain and hosting. You already set everything up on WordPress. You already know what the WordPress is, how to use it, or the basics of it. And now you've set the theme that you're gonna use the foundation from where to build your website. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next one. So welcome back to the next one. In this module 5, we're gonna start customizing the website. So we begin by first 3 places: logo, colors, and fonts. So when you're building a website, you have to decide on the logo. Of course, it's a one-time decision. So for example, in this case, I've only used a site logo, which is like a teardrop on the side one. And another place you would put your logo on the header, for example here, you have the name of my client. She doesn't have a formal logo because she's doing a personal brand, so it's better for her to use her name. So you would put your logo here. For the colors, it's up to you to decide the color scheme. For example, me and my client, we went with black, white, and red, which is the highest contrast you can find. Everyone knows YouTube is using the same contrast: white, black, and red. So we went with this one, and you're gonna have to go through the same and figure out what kind of palette you're gonna use. There's a lot of useful tools online, like palettes, randomizer. You can either use a randomizer or perhaps not use a randomizer, but you can go on a website like this, colorhunt.co, and there's plenty of palettes using 4, maybe more colors, right? So go around and you find out whichever looks like something that you'd like, right? And you select the colors that you're gonna be using on your website. And once you do that, another thing you have to focus on or get clarity on is the fonts. What kind of fonts you're gonna be using. So for example, my client, we decided to go with a Poppins, which is actually quite straightforward, formal, and boxy font. And throughout the whole website, it's just Poppins. Different bold, different sizes, but it's Poppins throughout the whole website. And you want to make sure you do that to make sure that you have a streamlined look on your website and it doesn't pop off weirdly. Usually when you use different type of fonts, if you play around nicely, you can make them look nice, but more often than not, it ends up looking awful. So you usually pick 2 fonts, one for the headers and the second one for the paragraphs or the text. In this case, we decided to use 1. So moving on from, now you know what you should put the logo, right, in the header, the colors, right? So you decide on a palette, whichever one you like, and then you pick a font and you stick with it, right? So here is gonna be, oh, there's loads of fonts available. Once we've done with these 3 core things, we move on to editing the footer and the header, right? So the top section and the bottom section, right? These are two sections we go. And to edit them, you won't find them in the pages. To find them, you have to go into the theme builder for the Royal add-ons, and you're gonna have all those sections in here: header, footer, archive for the blog section, single pages for the blog pages, and that's about it. So we go into the header to begin with, edit the template, and you can play around and select whichever menu you'd like, what kind of pages you want to include, and the logos, right? So however you want to structure it. To actually put stuff into the menus, you have to go in here, appearance and menus, and actually get rid of him here, right? So it's gonna be set up here in appearance and menus, not this header. This is gonna be the default, but we're gonna use the theme editor. But here is where you edit the actual parts. You can remove them, you can make them apparent, so it ends up having more sections, and all the pages are listed here, all the posts are listed here, language switcher, whatever custom link you want to add, and categories for the blogs. So you can add them to the menu section. So this is where we edit the menu. To go slightly into each section, there's a lot of settings here. Menu items, how you want them to hover. You should be able to read this by yourself. A lot of details here that, you know, once you start doing them, you'll start playing around with these options. You see how you play around with them and what kind of effect they have. Now, moving forward, we're gonna go into the footer, right? The footer, again, at the bottom of the website, some text, some social links. And when it comes to Elementor, I don't know if I showed you, but I'll show you some of the sections, how you add elements. Within Elementor, you have all these sections: headings, images, text editors, videos, buttons, dividers. There's some pro things that you cannot access unless you buy the pro version. We don't need them. There's a few general tabs as well. And there's also Royal add-ons, which basically adds Elementor's pro sections for free. So you end up you're able to use all of these: charts, countdowns, flip boxes, accordions, feature list, MailChimp plugins, Google Maps, business hours, all these pop-up triggers, lolly animations, a lot of cool stuff, image scrolls, a lot of cool stuff. You have to play around to find out what each of them do. But this is where we edit the footer. After we edit those footers, we need to make sure that we have those core pages that are usually on the website. And more does not equal better. Sometimes it's better to have as least of basically the less amount of pages as possible, right? So for this one, we have the main page, we have the blog, and we have the contacts. Only 3 pages currently accessible directly from here. There's more in the backend, but you cannot access them. And these services and investing are sections of the page, right? So services for this section and investing for this section. So that's it for adding those pages. Now, if you want to add an additional page, right, all you have to do is press add page here in the pages section, right? We add a page. For example, you might think of something you want to add. We'll select, and we have this new page, right? So you can add sections here. If you already have some sort of idea of what you want, you can always use the templates for the sections. So for example, we can select a hero slider. So the first picture you want is to have a slider, right? Maybe you're building, I don't know, an e-commerce store, maybe you're launching some things. This one is a pro version. Let's find something for free. Let's, for example, this one, right? So we design, we create, we are a creative agency. Let's add this. Everything is customizable. So for this section, what we're gonna do is make it. So anyway, you can play around with these sections. Add a hero section. Let's use this one. Whatever you're building. Once you got whatever you like done, then you can move on to actually adding some functionality, right? You can play around with these sections, or you can add full pages, right? So let's get rid of this one, and instead we'll add a whole page. Let's see. For example, you'd like to add a services page, right? We'd select one, insert it. What that would do is insert the services page, right? Looks nice. Of course, you need to make sure the style is consistent. You can see here it's clearly inconsistent, so, and there's a spelling mistake. But so this is how you edit pages, how you add new pages. So for example, I'm gonna leave this one and I'm actually gonna delete it because we don't need it. But that's the simple way to add pages and add customizations to it. So now on this, throughout this module, you know how to add a logo, where to add it, you know how to select for colors, you know how to select fonts, you know how to edit the menus and the footers, you know how to add pages, what kind of pages you need, and that's it. Module 5 is done. Congratulations. I hope you're following. If you're having any problems, make sure you drop your thoughts and your struggles in the community. We'll work through it together and get you sorted as soon as possible. Thanks for watching and see you in the next lesson. Hi and welcome to Module 6. This lesson we're going to be installing a plugin and showing you some of the plugins to extend functionality on the website. So when it comes to plugins, there is a lot of options, I tell you that. But some of the most important ones are already listed at the beginning, right? So you want to have some spam protection perhaps on your website if you're getting comments that are spamming you. Jetpack is a crazy good tool for backup and speed on the website. So it gives you some, of course there's a lot more options here, but the most useful are the backup and the speed, right? It gives you some backups on the website. So if something crashes, you update something and it just kind of goes south, you can restore the previous version and get back to that, functionality. Speed also improves, it helps you improve or gives you recommendations to improve the speed of the website. So there's a few options here, like the popular ones. Again, another speed, forms, Google Analytics, really good one, security, email. What else do we have? SEO. So if you want to learn, get rankings for your website, SEO is really good. Another one, language translator, right? So if you want to use language, right? Language, you'll get plenty of language translators. If you're using multilinguals, what's some recommended? Oh, it's the original ones. So there's a lot of options. Most of them, once you get them in, what happens is they show up here in the installed ones. You need to always activate them. They won't be on your website unless you activate them. So even though I got plenty of them installed, they are not activated. So they are not actually on the website. Problem with the plugins, if you use way too many, if you have more than 10, 15, 20 plugins activated at the same time, you're risking your website to slow down extremely a lot. So I would recommend keeping to a minimum only the key, SEO, speed and backup, and here are the themes, the Royal, Elementor, and that's it. If you need translation, translate, but keep it simple. Don't go over 10 plugins if you don't need to. Remember, it's better to be lean. Your website's going to be faster. And another very important thing, every week there's updates for your plugins. If you don't update your plugins, there's a high risk of your website crashing. So you need to make sure you're up to date every week. Whenever you come on here and you see that there's plugins with updates, update them by selecting them and selecting the whole thing. Update and apply to all your plugins. You need to make sure you're updating this. I've seen websites go crashing simply because the plugins were not updated, and then you might even lose access to the website. So be very careful with plugins. Don't go too many, and make sure you're regularly, weekly updating them when the updates do show up. So that's it. Module 6, a short one, a quick intro on plugins and how to use them. When it comes to actual functionality, you'll see that most of them have their own kind of menus, and you figure out by yourself, enable floating switcher. Do you want it to float or not? Which style do you want? The design. Do you want to change the colors? It kind of self-explanatory. As you learn to use it, you'll get better at it. If you have questions, drop it in the community. And that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi there. So welcome to Module 7, which is all about finalizing your website and handing off, whether to a client or just finalizing your own website. So first things first is we need to make sure that our website is well done, not only on the desktop or the laptop. We need to make sure it's also well done on the mobile. And what you'll see more often than not, firstly, you complete your website on the desktop. Then, it's gonna be something similar on the laptop than what you had on the desktop. But when you go to the phone, mobile, you'll see a complete mess. And that's normal. That's part of the process. It's always, once you're done with the desktop, you're only halfway done. The other half should be mobile. If you're really smart about it, and you already know whether you or your client that they need mobile first, use a different approach. Start with mobile. Once your mobile is done, then go to desktop. And you need to make sure to check up that you have the desktop done, the mobile done, and it looks good and it looks perfect. There's no nonsense. Then you need to make sure it's the same on the actual iPad, right? So a tablet, you fix the tablet, then you fix the laptop, and that's the first thing you check before handing off or just confirming that you completed your website. Make sure that all formats look good, and it's done for all formats. Then we get rid of all the demo content, right? So if you had some sections that are still using the theme fonts or text, get rid of it. You don't want to have it on your website. This website does not have any demo content on here. It's all unique, original content. Then the same way goes here, right? So we have these pages about, right? I'm gonna trash these, move to trash. This second home, services, testimonials, why choose me? I'm actually gonna put them all in trash, apply. This is how it should look. All clear, only Elementor edits, because these are the pages that I've made. Everything else is clean. There's no nonsense, no template kind of demo content, right? So get rid of it. Once all that is done, you need to make sure you have some backups of your website. So to back up, again, we're gonna add a plugin, right? There's plenty of free plugins. You don't have to pay unless you want to. Let's find a backup one. Let's use this one. Updraft. It's installed. Let's activate it. Okay. Settings. Backup restore. Okay. And we do a backup. It's perfect. That's it. We are almost completed with backing up. So now we have the backup of the website. So if any changes do happen and something crashes, the website crashes, you can come back here and use this old backup to roll back any changes. That might mean you lost some effort put into upgrading the website, but it's better to have an old version than have a not working version, right? So we have it here, and all you have to do is press restore when the website crashes. So that's it, right? We have a backup. Now, another thing, if you're working with clients and you're not making this for yourself, you need to make sure that you teach your clients a little bit about how to use this, right? So for example, this is my client's website that I've built for them. So it's my job to, tell them what their logins are. Give them a little bit of a tutorial, what each section does. If they want to write a new blog post, they go into the post and they write the blog here, right? If they want to edit, change their logos, they go to the theme builder, they go into the header, and they can add their own logos here. Like I teach them and I show them before handing off. I provide them a little bit of training how to use that website, and you keep that connection and relationship throughout into the future. If anything comes up, they'll come to you and you need to help them. So create a client guide was the last thing you need to do. And that's it. Then if there's any more things you have to change, you start those corrections. And once all of those corrections are out of the way, you're done with the website. So now, if you reach this stage, I want to congratulate you. By now, you should probably have a finished website, and well done. I congratulate you for completing this. I know it was kind of thin on the content side, but it's here, to put you on the right track. And if you have any more in-depth questions, the community is for that place. So here is only the guidance, and I hope you use this guidance to actually make your clients happy, make yourself happy. I hope you made money. If you haven't made money, it's fine. The next module is going to be all about getting clients. If you're just making this for yourself, congratulations. Probably doing this for the first time, and that's tough. So good for you. Another skill in your pocket. And anytime a problem like this comes up, it's not going to be a problem for you. And when you have a service provider that you're getting service from to build a website, you'll know exactly what the backend looks like. You'll know what it adds up to. And if you've built this website yourself, you'll know the kind of work that goes into building a website. So that's it. Thanks for watching Module 7, and I hope to see you in the next one. All right? Have a good one. Take care.